Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Metroid Prime Remastered, our last part of cleanup, because we got one more artifact to go and a few more goodies to collect, so yay for that.
Yeah, not much left to scrub up. Another energy tank, a couple of missile tanks, one artifact, partridge in a pear tree.
We've been doing this for about an hour of cleanup, and that is knowing where you're going.
So
Yeah.
I very rarely get to this point in the game. I know that you don't necessarily have to do all the artifacts at once. We're just like, okay, do an artifact, get that artifact, and then go straight to the next one. You can get them along the way, assuming you know where they are / are clever enough to figure out the hiding spots the first time you go through. How many of these things are you expected to backtrack for at the very end of the game?
The one we're going to that requires plasma beam. The one in the two in Fajana Drifts. 3 technically, if you include that, because they all need plasma beam in some capacity. And power bombs. And then you got the 3 in the phase on mines, but you can get them along the way easy enough. The one you have to backtrack for is the Tunnel of Death.
So 3 or 4 that you have to specifically backtrack for.
Yeah, it's about 50-50.
About half of them, yeah.
Yeah. So this is frustrating because and this is, I think, well known to be one of the sour points in Prime 1's design. And as someone who's never played Prime 2, they did it worse in that game, is what I've been told.
To an extent,
Yes.
yes, but I would say Prime 3 is the biggest offender.
Really, because I remember that, when we're just talking about beating the game, you get most of the energy cans you need along the way. I don't remember needing to backtrack just to get to the end.
Oh, I thought you were scans. If you mean actual collection, though Prime 2 definitely has the largest amount of backtracking. In Prime 3 case, you can get just enough to go through the Valhalla on the way, just progressing the game normally. If it's 100%, there's a few you have to get out the way. The worst one's on Brio, where you've got to interconnect multiple areas without using your ship to deliver a part to a big fuck-off statue thing so you can get access to it.
Yeah, it's... Judging 100% in any game is really weird, and it's something that I've been, kind of thinking about a lot lately. The game that actually got me to start thinking about this is Paper Mario Thousand Year Door. Because Paper Mario Thousand Year Door is a game that I actually think is worse when trying to play 100% versus when you're trying to play just, to beat the game.
It's the recipes, isn't it? It's the
Oh yeah, recipes suck because I cannot remember the combinations to save my life. But also, a lot of the Trouble Centers missions are just pretty tedious, honestly.
I love going back to Hooktail's Castle for the umpteenth time.
You have to go at least 3 times total. Even if you minimize as much backtracking as possible and I'll do the trouble where I find the missing Koopa Troopa while I get the thing that lets me upgrade my guys more. But it's there's 2 trouble centers that you need to do by backtracking to Hooktail's Castle, and you cannot do more than 1 at a time.
Which is absolutely bullshit design.
Yeah, they should have let you, I don't know, even do 3 or 4 at once in the remake or something.
Of 3.
That would have helped a lot. But even disregarding that one, there's a lot of just walking around. The one that actually got to me was there's one where you talk to a Bulbulb in Petalburg. And he's like, I want to eat a hot dog. So it's okay, you buy I was smart enough to buy a hot dog before I went there and bring it to him, with me while I was going to do the trouble. And then he's like, oh wow, thanks for the hot dog. I want another one. And then it's
greedy
okay, I did.
Motherfucker, right? You got a pair of legs. You can walk your ass up there.
Well, I mean, he'd also have to help the mob to get the blimp ticket, but we'll ignore that part for the time being. So, I think he wants 3 hot dogs, and if you don't think ahead to, I should buy some extras, you have to walk there and back to Glitzville in order to get more hot dogs for this motherfucker. And then he asks you for a cake recipe after the fact, and you can't just get cake mix in Thousand Year Door, you have to gamble at the casino to get tokens to buy it. So it's there's a lot of stuff like that in that game where it's just okay, the dialogue is funny, don't get me wrong, but
It's
usually
tedious.
just not worth it. And like, what do you get from this guy? A niche cooking ingredient you don't technically need to use in order to get any decent recipes.
No,
So it's
because there's like multiple ways to get the end result.
yeah. So whenever I'm replaying, whenever I replayed the game on GameCube, basically, I would just ignore all the trouble center tasks that weren't worth it, which was like pretty much everything but the zesty one for mixing ingredients and Miss Mouse. But on the Switch version, you get a little gold icon thingy on your file select
right,
if you
yeah.
100%. And you know me, I love meaningless trinkets that show that I did more work than I needed to.
Because you can get like a gold Mario skin if you do it all, don't you?
Yeah, for you to, show off on your file select screen and when you never play that file ever again.
If we're talking more tedious for 100%, I would say Super Paper Mario's worse because you have to get the cards.
Super Paper Mario is one of the most tedious games, period. I just need to record it at some point, because I know it'll be a 60-part playthrough, but there's just so much about that game I want to talk about. It's the biggest mixed bag, excuse me. I think that Nintendo's ever released. Like, not necessarily a bad game, but
It has questionable decisions in regards to
it's like-
design.
Super Paper Mario, if it was just a bad game, like Sticker Star, for example, like, that would be fine. That'd be one thing. But it's like, no, there's actually a lot of really cool, redeeming things here. But it's just like, no, there's also a lot of bullshit, too. So I just need to record it at some point so that we can actually talk about I was thinking about Super Paper Mario earlier today, too.
What a coincidence.
I had a point. It was related to Metroid. Oh, right. So, like, whether or not a game should be designed with 100% in mind. Because, a lot of the time, like, Paper Mario Thousand Year Door is one of my favorite games of all time. And if you're not really playing with 100% in mind, that's great. And, like, it's not the worst thing ever to 100%. But, like, it certainly is more tedious when you do it that way. So, like, should I fault the game for being tedious to 100%? I know that there are other examples of this, like Crash. The Crash games are a big one, where it's a completely different game when you're playing for completion versus playing just to beat it.
I mean, if it's Crash 2 or 3, it's not too bad. 3 only gets bad with the relics. If it's the remasters, or Crash 4.
When I played through Crash 2 for the channel way back in the dark ages, I made a point to go through the game 100% in a direction where I would have to revisit levels the least number of times. And if you do that in Crash 2 specifically, you barely have to revisit anything at all.
Yeah, because like you're mainly just focusing on the color gem paths and the secret warps.
Yeah, it just depends on what order you do the levels in. But I think there's like the secret warps and the one level where you have to get no boxes to get the blue gem.
Yeah, that's the very first one.
Yeah. But other than that, all the colored gems unlock platforms on levels that are either on the same warp room floor or on a higher one. So you don't have to get a colored gem and then go back to a lower floor.
And if we're doing the PlayStation versions, you can actually just get the red gem without needing to take the secret room, so that skips one.
Yeah, the red gem. The funny thing about the red gem in Crash 2 is actually that in the demo, it was lower down so that you could feasibly get it. And they raised it higher in the retail game to prevent you from doing the same thing that you did in the demo. But it was still technically possible to do the same thing. You just had to try harder.
And then remastered, it was like a million miles up and there was an object in the way to stop you. It's like, no cheating for you.
Crash is an interesting example, though, because the Yoshi games are actually somewhat similar to that, where if you're playing the game with completion in mind versus just running to the end of the level, I feel like they're much less satisfying to play. Because you're not really interacting with anything. You're just, like, going. Like, the general platforming Well, I guess Crash, the general platforming, is much more demanding than in Yoshi. But it's like it's certainly
depends.
much more demanding if you're trying to also get all the boxes versus just get to the goal.
I mean, what do you get for 100% in Crash 1? You get an alternative ending that's non-canon. Crash 2, you get the teaser for Crash 3. Crash 3, you get, oh, everyone's a babu now, and an extra gem if you get all the gold or platinum relics. At least in Yoshi's Island, you got 5 extra levels. Okay, they were all bullshit out and some of the worst in the game, but, they were there.
In Crash 1, remember, getting the gems was also save points.
Yep. And you had to do everything without a death, so that was fun.
There was mechanical incentive to go after all the boxes. Although, given how hard some of the gems were to go after, you might just game over on your way to your next save point.
Looking at you, Sunset Vista.
And there's our last artifact. Huzzah.
Huzzah. So now
But we're only
have...
at 97% completion for items, so we still have 1 or 2 little things to get. So
Our 90%
Well, it's
scans,
3
there'll never be 100.
nope.
It's 3 missiles because you always end at 255 missiles.
It's 250 in this. It's...
250 in this?
Yep.
Yep.
I thought all the games were 255.
Not
Nope.
always. This
Not
is one of
always,
the
okay.
exceptions. 2 and 3 are definitely 255.
It would be funny if, like, in a future Metroid game, someone was like, I want to have 300 missiles. Like, they just keep on putting more missile expansions hidden in the world. It's like, no, stop. We already have 255. You are legally not allowed to make any more.
Or it could be Banjo-Kazooie where you have 2 jiggies left over.
Oh, right. Oh.
I love how no one speedruns any percent in that game because there's no point. You might as well just get 100% it because
That's like
it requires
something-
way too much.
That's like something about the original Banjo-Kazooie that frustrates me. There's a lot of things about the original Banjo-Kazooie that frustrate me, but like, okay, the whole point of having this whole like Jiggy Power Star, insert random collectible here system is so that you can like pick and choose what missions you want to do. Like, okay, you don't have to do everything in the game. You only have to do some of it, and then you get to see the ending. There's no point to that if you need to basically get everything in the game anyway. It's like, I don't understand why you need to get 97 or whatever it is jiggies to beat the original Banjo-Kazooie. Like,
And then,
this is something that I think Tui does a lot better, where it's just like, okay,
yeah, it's a lot more generous.
yeah, you only need 70 of the 90, which is honestly still somewhat of a rather high ratio, because the Mario 64 is 70 of 120,
Yep.
and I think Galaxy is 60 of
60 on the
120.
dot, yeah. 60.
Yeah, so it's like, which is more reasonable, I think, for sure.
Okay, so do we have any more cleanup, or are we on our way to the final area?
We've got 2 missiles.
2 more missiles, and that's it, I think.
And if they're where I think they are, they're going to be in the shaft that leads to Magmore Caverns at the top, because it normally requires Grapple Beam. And the Plasma Beam.
Now, I don't know the exact place, but everyone I've ever talked to about this goddamn game, for any length of time, complains about the platforming at the end of the game.
Oh, and the impact crater?
Yeah.
It's
How
not that
bad is it?
It's not
It's not that bad.
It's not bad at all, really. It's pretty basic.
It's the Vision Metroids that get in the way too often.
In which case, power bombs go burr.
As we'll see in my playthrough, because I have a little bit of a kerfuffle with them, mostly because I refused to use power bombs for a little bit because I wanted to save them for the final boss. And I eventually just said, fuck it.
I mean, the game's never really... I think it might just be a difficulty spike, because the game doesn't really ask too much of you platforming-wise before the very end. Like, it's pretty basic jumps all the way through until that, like, last point.
And yeah, it's not asking you to do something like Endless World of Monkeys from Yoshi's Island.
What?
What secret level was that in
That was,
Yoshi's Island?
I think it's just more Monkey Madness. It's the secret level in World 3,
Oh, okay.
where there's that much thin platforming, and you can actually lose getting all the items because there's so many sprites on the screen, some of the objects can get unloaded.
Oh, jeez.
But the good news is, due to a bug, there's an extra red coin, so it sort of balances out.
The original Yoshi's Island is a game I don't think I'll ever 100% because it's like it's frustratingly difficult to. You have to do perfect runs of the levels in order to do that. Like,
if we were to do a Yoshi's game, I would probably try to do Woolly World, but
Woolly World is a game that I've wanted to do for the channel.
Wait, did you not do
lot.
Yoshi's Island?
Nope.
No, we haven't done
thought
any
you were-
Yoshi game for the
I
channel.
honestly thought you did Yoshi's Island years ago.
nope, we
you
haven't
know,
done any Yoshi game because Yoshi's Island is too much of a pain in the ass. 100%. Yoshi's story is just weird, and the GBA and DS ones are not good.
Yoshi's Island DS is like
Okay.
fine. I have a soft spot for that game because I played it growing up. It's not like amazing, but it's okay. New Island is
A game.
bad. Yes. It's not like a platformer, but I quite enjoy Yoshi Touch and Go, which was the DS touchscreen one. It's like it's a good like arcade style fun little game. I think that game's a lot of fun. I actually still to this day have not played Yoshi's Story. That's another like weird game where you will get some people who will swear by that with their
Like,
lives.
if you're playing it casually, there's really nothing to write home about. But if you're doing what they call melon %, where you do all the levels and get every single melon, then yeah, it actually proves to be a fairly difficult game.
But yeah, that was their last missile pack, so
Yep, that should be clean house.
100% item completion. And I think
Unfortunately, Samus didn't finish her book club book in time, though, so we can't get 100% scan log.
well, we got the extra ending, so that's all that matters.
Scans are just like
Just to get.
They get you concept art.
And thankfully, in this version, they carry over save files, so you can technically do a new game plus with the scans. So
And keep them.
you don't have, yeah. So
And
you
if-
don't have to actually.
And if you actually
you know,
want to just speedrun the game, it's actually best to do it on New Game Plus because you've actually scanned everything ahead of time, so that's seconds saved, but they add up.
but you still have to like collect items and power-ups and stuff.
Yep, no getting
Yeah.
around that.
But all right, next part is the finale, so we'll see you guys all then. Later.